This video contains the lecture portion of a Wiki Instructional session intended for freshman and sophomore level students at a community college or university. The session is 15 minutes long and consists of a short lecture, a small group activity, a small group discussion, and a large group discussion. To see the other materials for this instructional session, please visit the Wiki Instructional session page of my ePortfolio. Alright, good afternoon everybody and welcome. My name is Jenica Ibarra. I work here in the library, and today I'm going to be talking to you guys about thinking critically about wikis, and specifically wikis as a source of information. So you may be asking yourself, okay, why should I care? I look at Wikipedia sometimes, it's an encyclopedia, it's got to be a good source. I know maybe some professors tell me not to cite it, but I'm not really too sure. So the main problem today with information is there's just so much of it that we don't know what's good and what's bad. So we really have to think about all of this information. We have to think about who provided this information. And we also want to think about what makes the people who provided this information qualified to talk about the topic. Another important factor is how many people agree with this information. Is this just someone's blog, just one person's opinion, or is this something that a group of experts on the topic agree upon? And you also have to consider that if this information was used in a research paper, would your professor think that it was an acceptable source? Alright, so today we're specifically talking about wikis. So let's just make sure first that everyone does understand what a wiki is. The most basic definition of a wiki is it's a website that allows visitors to make changes, contributions, or corrections. Sometimes a wiki requires membership or even special credentials to be a member, but sometimes anyone can contribute to the wiki. Usually, one person or a group of people will monitor the wiki. These people have the ultimate say over the content of the wiki. They can either say, yes, this information is good, we approve of it and want it on our wiki, or they can say, nope, we don't like this information, we're taking it down, it's inaccurate. Or they might say, well, some of this information is accurate, but this part isn't, or maybe this sounds accurate, but you need to provide a source for this. And then they would mark the page and ask for other people to contribute sources or to contribute new information. Okay, so I'm sure most of you have heard of Wikipedia. You've probably used it a lot. It comes up frequently. It's linked with Google. It's oftentimes the first hit on a Google search. But Wikipedia is not the only wiki. There are all kinds of wikis out there. Some other ones are WikiMD, which is a medical encyclopedia, Child Lit Wiki, Conservapedia, and Rational Wiki. And a few of these we will be taking a look at later in a group activity. Okay, so let's talk about some of the pros and cons of wikis. And the best way to break down the pros and cons is to think about a couple different characteristics of wikis, and especially some characteristics that are important to us from a wikis as a source of information viewpoint. Alright, so the first characteristic we're going to talk about is the fact that anyone, or almost anyone, can create or edit a wiki. Now, this is good because it contributes to our democratic ideals of free speech and free exchange of ideas. Anybody can put something up there. And it's also good because if someone does put up inaccurate information, it can quickly be removed by someone else. However, the con is that it is often difficult or even impossible to verify the credentials or possibly even the motivations of the author. And we'll see some of this later when we look at some wikis in the group activity. Another major characteristic of wikis is they're free. Of course, this is good because anybody can use a wiki no matter what their economic status. However, sometimes you do get what you pay for. Publisher subscription resources, which do cost money, are usually held to higher standards than wikis. For example, these types of resources can afford to hire experts and to pay other experts to review and improve the information. Just something you don't get with wikis. There is a review process, but remember, almost anybody can do the reviewing. The people don't usually have to have credentials. Another important characteristic of wikis is they often contain citations and links to other sources. This is especially important to us when we're thinking about using wikis as a source of information. Now, the pro of this is wikis can be a really good starting point for your research. If you know absolutely nothing about a topic, don't even know where to start, don't even know what field it's related to, Wikipedia can be a great point to just get a general idea of your topic. Wikipedia can also be good, or any wiki in general, in that if there are citations, if they list if the person who put the information on the wiki lists where they got that information from, then some of those sources might be good. They might be something published or a government website, a good reliable source that you could use. Now, the con of wikis containing citations and links to other sources is you're still going to need to evaluate these external sources. And that's not so much a con as just a word of caution. Because, same thing, the information, anybody can put anything on a wiki. They can cite anything. The citation could be fake, so you have to check it out. That's usually not the case, but you do need to make sure you're checking it. Okay, so now we're going to take about 15 to 20 minutes to do a group activity where we're going to evaluate some wikis. So everyone is going to split up into groups of 4, and then each group is going to take a look at each of these wikis and fill out the wiki evaluation form. Then we're going to discuss in small groups our individual wikis, and then we're going to come back together as a big group, and each group will share what they found about their wiki with everyone else. And then we're going to go ahead and take a look at Wikipedia together as a class. Okay, so we've done our wiki evaluation form, we've talked about wikis, we've looked at Wikipedia together. So let's just kind of wrap up here what the key points are. Keep these things in mind. First of all, there are many types of sources of information, and wikis are just one type. All sources of information must be evaluated. We're not just singling out wikis here. This is all sources of information. However, wikis are a special case because anyone can contribute to them and they're free. Another important characteristic to keep in mind is the citations that wikis contain. Those can be very important, remember. Okay, so as far as evaluating wikis goes, the more information you can find about a wiki, the better. It's especially important to know who is responsible for the information on the wiki. The bottom line is, if a wiki stands up to critical evaluation, it can be a good source of general information or a good starting point for research. However, it is usually unwise to use a wiki as a source in a research paper. Right? If you have any questions, you can stay after class and I'll be happy to answer them. You can also visit the Wiki Instructional session page of my ePortfolio, or feel free to email me with any questions or concerns. And thank you so much for your time today. You guys have a great day.